Okay, so people can't drive. Well, yeah, that's the video. You knew. We all kind of knew that. I can turn this off now. Hello. Either that was better or I'm getting used to it. Either way, whatever. Hear me out for a second. I've spent time in places notorious for bad and scary driving. I live in Atlanta. I spend maybe 2 months of the year in Manhattan. I've been to LA a good couple of times, so I think I know bad driving. And y'all can't drive. But here's the thing, I don't think anybody can drive. I don't think driving itself is actually that good of an idea. Just looking at it objectively, everybody is the worst versions of themselves the second they're behind the steering wheel of a car. But here's the thing, I think we have an excuse for being bad at driving. Behind the wheel of a car either turns you into like a fear, anxiety-ridden mess or a monster filled with rage and power. You get into a 3,000, 4,000 pound machine that you are able to make move to maybe 100 plus miles an hour, and then you fling yourself at that speed in the general direction of a place you want to be. And then it's just you, this giant vehicle, and the world. And you're the only thing standing between the world, the machine, and untold destruction. There are only really 2 good reactions to that. And not only are you doing that, but then you immediately have to deal with more people than you ever have to at any time all at once. It's not just you on the road doing this weird, dangerous activity. It's everybody out there with you. And then you just sort of have to trust them. No. There are a lot of reasons for bad driving. In Atlanta, it's almost not our fault. Almost not our fault. I'm still holding all of us individually responsible for whatever this ratchet nonsense going on out there is. Almost. And I say it's almost not our fault because our roads are designed badly. Yeah, that's just it. It's bad. This thought should infuriate anyone who has to drive in Georgia regularly, especially in Atlanta. Someone did Atlanta roads on purpose. Someone designed our roads this way. This is a job. There is no reason for any of the things that happen out there to be happening. It's someone's job to design roads. They plan out the way where roads should be and how they should work. That's something they got paid to do. Someone got paid to make Atlanta roads the way they are. That person should have to give the money back. They should reimburse us for whatever they thought they were doing, because I don't know what it was, but they were wrong. I don't know who told them they could, but they were lied to, and they should have to pay back the entirety of the population of Atlanta for having to deal with this nonsense. For people who don't live in Atlanta, let me give you some context. If you are on our highways and you don't know where your exit is, you're fucked. I'm sorry, you're screwed. If you don't know exactly where you're going and how to get there, then I hope you're really good at just like taking random GPS directions that are stay left, get off now, turn, go, just get on this bridge right here that I told you that you had to be in the left lane to get past the other one for. So that throws you off, turn. That's how our highways work. Sometimes they just add another lane. All the other exit lanes up until this point just peeled off the lane you had been in. And then suddenly another lane appears and then gone. Oh, and if you're in Atlanta and you miss your exit, sometimes you have to go all the way back around to get to the exit again. You can't find it by turning it around. It's built circularly with exits that go like this, that's like branching off. And if you miss one, you're fucked. You can't get off the next one and come back. You have to just find your way back around Atlanta to get to that exit again. We don't know either. Let me put it this way. Once I was driving somewhere with my cousin and our GPS told us that there was a lot of traffic ahead and it gave us an alternate route. We were like, cool, thanks Google Maps, I'm glad you got me. And then we got to a street that I don't even know how to explain it. So it attached back to the street we were on, but directly at a light. with all the traffic we were trying to avoid, plus a third lane coming from the side where there was 2 lanes of traffic coming the opposite way to contend with, crossing 2 lanes to get to the other side of the place we were through traffic. Pretty much 4 lanes of traffic coming in our direction. Here's the light right here. There's no space between this road that came out of nowhere and the light and all the traffic. It's just there. Just road, 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 you. There was no way to do this. There was no way to navigate this situation in a way that made sense without putting ourselves in bodily harm. And you're just like, I guess we're turning around? I'm not doing that. You can't make me. I'm just gonna get back in line in the traffic going this direction. We've wasted 30 minutes. Cool, fine, whatever. Sure. This is how my life is today. Okay. Now here is the part that's our fault. The Atlanta attitude while driving. Everyone's just sort of like, that person didn't put on their blinkers, how dare you? Swerve, swerve, swerve. Everyone else needs to follow the rules while driving, but you, free reign, you can do whatever you want because the road is obviously yours. They belong to you, they came with your inheritance. There's just this innate passive-aggressive attitude that crawls up from the depths of people's souls when they're driving in Atlanta. I'll say it this way. Using blinkers in Atlanta is like asking a rhetorical question. It's not, can I move over? It's, I'm going to move over, and if you don't let me move over, I'm gonna do everything in my power to pull up beside you at the next light and stare at you disapprovingly. I didn't actually care about your opinion about me moving over. I was telling you I was moving over, and you were supposed to just nod your head and let me in. Another reason people in Atlanta are bad drivers, we're not paying attention. None of us are paying any attention to what's going on around us while we're driving. Once I was driving home with my family, I was sitting in the back seat. We had just gotten off of a flight from, I think we had just come home from New York. And I was tired, that travel tired. Like when you take a nap all day and then you wake up and then you do one thing, you're like, well, it's been a long day, time to go back to sleep. That kind of tired, that weird, I didn't do shit today tired. What am I talking about? This isn't pertain to the rest of the story. What? Oh, I got off track. So I was in the car with my family in the back seat, barely being conscious. Another car passes us. I don't know what they were doing, but they were barely driving. And they were in the fast lane passing us. Like I saw her turn all the way around in her car and look in the back seat. And I was like, the fuck? I was incredulous enough to wake up a little bit. So I was like, okay, fine. And then the next car passed us and their hands weren't on the wheel. And that woke me up a little bit more because I'm like, what? I think they were driving with their knees and texting as they passed us in the fast lane. And I was just like, I hate you, what? So I was a little more awake after that because I was like, this is a great way to die, just sitting in this car. Mind you, all of this was happening in succession. A third person was passing us, and they were eating. Tupperware this hand, fork this hand, spaghetti, no hands. Eyes catty-cornered down toward the Tupperware as they spooned pasta into their mouths. Nobody in Atlanta's paying attention. On the highway, you can be in the left lane, and a new lane can appear next to you out of nowhere. Just new cars of people just merging in on the left side of traffic, and nobody's paying any attention. So I've never been behind the wheel of a car in Manhattan, never driven in New York City, but that's because I never want to be in a car in New York City. Being in a car in New York City is in my top 10 least favorite things to do. You know that list of things that you'll do anyways, but you spend the entirety of your time being like, why is this happening here? What decisions have I made that led my life to this point? And what I've gleaned from trembling in the back seat of cars in New York is that if Atlanta is passive-aggressive driving, New York driving is aggressive driving. It's just gung-ho, fuck you kind of attitude. It feels like people driving on the highway in New York will do anything to pass you. They'll be so mad at you. It's horrifying, actually. In Atlanta, if someone speeds around you, we're just sort of like, bless your heart. You're obviously late for something. You go ahead. You obviously ran out of time to get somewhere. I bet if you left your house a little bit earlier, maybe you wouldn't have to rush. That's us. We'll try to put like a little southern sprinkle on it, and then quietly and maliciously try to block your path by driving directly next to the person beside us so you can't get by. But in New York, they're just sort of like, fuck you. And then they'll roll down their window and proceed to tell you how you should go fuck yourself. Honestly, the two approaches aren't different. It's the same message, different style. I've seen people use blinkers in New York. It doesn't seem to mean much. It happens sometimes. How to put this? If blinkers are a rhetorical question in Atlanta, they are a statement of intent in New York. Actually, more like they're issuing a challenge. They're just sort of like, I am moving. You can try to stop me. God help you if you're in a taxi. They are on a mission. Just about every other time I've been in a taxi on the highway in Manhattan, the driver will get in the far left lane and then we'll be driving, and then suddenly you'll be driving diagonally across 4 lanes to the exit, and that's scary. Anything. Here's what I'll say about LA traffic. People are either too busy trying to look cool to pay attention, or they are simply incensed by the traffic. It is unreasonable how bad the traffic is in LA. If you had a 30-minute drive without traffic, with traffic, it will take you damn near 2 hours to get wherever you were going. Before I end this video, I just have the quickest message for the people of Miami. You people cannot drive. I've been there one time. One time I went to Miami this summer. If people in other places drive like they don't care about your life, people in Miami drive like they don't care about their own lives. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on with you guys. I don't know. Do you want to talk about? I don't know, but holy shit. And really, I don't even know how to describe what was going on down there. Most of it's just sort of like a blur of lawlessness and fear. There wasn't even like aggression. It was just complete apathy towards life. And the roads made less sense than Atlanta. And I'm not sure how that happens. But what's going on down there? Miami, please send a letter if you need help. If you have to drive in these cities, I kind of just suggest you don't. If you're in Atlanta or in LA, call a taxi, I guess. At least the people will know the roads better than you do. If you're in New York, I suggest to take the subway. I feel less fear on the subway than I do in a car. Do your research before you get on a subway. There's a learning curve, but you'll get used to it. Everybody else does it. You'll be fine, I think, probably. I've been fine so far. If you're in Miami, we took an Uber once and it was fine, I guess. You can do that. This video is just a whole lot of me making weird noises. And they will do anything to get past you. I've shifted a bit. I got cold. What was I talking about? Just like, why are you like this? I hate people. The fact that I've noticed this in other drivers should tell you that I'm obviously guilty of this. Driving. Okay, this thought, places whatever this ratchet nonsense going out there is. Ratchet nonsense going out there? Going on out there? How do I get this at selfie angle? Where was I going with this? I'm not sure. Stop that. No, none of that made sense.